There's my audience.
Yeah, bruh.
Alrighty, hello. My name is Marcus. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about a movie called The One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Okay.
So how many people have actually ever, or know what a mental hospital is?
Yes.
I've never been to one, but I
Raise your hand.
understand.
I know.
So-
We all know.
So a good reason why I wanted to start off with that, The One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is that it has a very good storyline that connects to real life events, considering it shows you how they demonstrate how they treated people within back in the 1950s.
Yes, sir.
So one of the first things I want to start off with you, or I'm going to start talking to you about, is the characters and the actors. So two of our main characters in the movie, we have McMurphy and Nurse Ratched. McMurphy is played by Jack Nicholson, and Nurse Ratched is played by Louise Fletcher.
It's a good movie.
Louise Fletcher. And so the whole starts off with the whole movie is based off of the dynamic between Nurse Ratched and McMurphy, because they have conflict throughout the whole entire movie where she's trying to put her authority on the other patients while he's trying to resist and is trying to fight for them and gets really close to them. So the whole movie is them butting heads and seeing how that ends up affecting the other patients. Two other characters that are important would be Chief and Billy Bibbit. Chief is mainly silent during most of the movie. He doesn't speak. He speaks about maybe 10 words in total during the whole movie. But he's shown like as very standoffish from every other person inside the mental hospital. But he starts to get very close with McMurphy just because he always just kind of like is always himself, and he's easy to get along with and stuff. So he gets really attached to him. And then Billy is another person that gets very attached to McMurphy because he has like very severe anxiety, and McMurphy tends to always like calm him down. So he gets very attached to him as well. There are many other characters within the movie that actually they admitted themselves, so like they're actually voluntary. Most of them are. McMurphy is one of the only people that in the mental hospital that's actually required, and he actually lied to get into the mental hospital, saying that he was mentally insane, so he wouldn't have to go to jail because he had committed a previous crime. So that's the whole reason why he's in there.
Okay.
So all of the characters, they work well together to show to get a good storyline, which is another good important part of the movie is the storyline. So within the storyline, we have the main conflict between Nurse Ratched and McMurphy butting heads and everything. And it continuously escalates to the point where they have a party, like the patients, they kind of like end up taking charge of everything like during the night shift or whatever, and like so they like kind of throw their own little party and stuff, and like they sneak in like 2 girls and everything, and like everything's going well, but then the whole aftermath afterwards, once all of the other all the workers start to appear, shows that like how badly that they actually did. Like they should not have done that, because like Billy ends up sleeping with one of the girls that had come into the hospital, and so Nurse Ratched is like very upset with him and stuff. So she like threatens to tell his mom, because she's very close friends with his mom, and he like responds by like freaking out hysterically, like screaming, like please don't tell my mom. And then Nurse Ratched is just like, she's going to be so ashamed of you, and he progresses to go and ends up stabbing himself in the neck, like committing suicide because it was too much for him.
Murphy?
No, Billy Bibbit.
Billy.
Billy Bibbit ends up stabbing himself. And in the shock, because McMurphy also got close with Billy, he was consumed by rage and he tried to strangle Nurse Ratched. And then so they like separate and break up the fight and everything, but they end up taking McMurphy away, and then when they bring him back, it shows that like it's a couple hours later, but they show that like he has a scar on his forehead, and then it shows that they performed like a lobotomy on him because he was disruptive, and that's how that kind of stuff.
That's what they did?
Mm-hmm.
What's a lobotomy?
So
They remove the
lobotomy is
front.
where they basically separate your frontal lobe
Mhm.
from the rest
Ooh.
of your brain.
Yeah.
So basically, it kind of leaves you brain dead in a way. But
You
you're still
don't have
alive.
no thoughts.
Yeah, but you
So
can't
what's-
function. You
Why
can't.
do they do that? That's just, oh my
Yeah.
god.
So, but like that also leads on into how the one who flew over the cuckoo's nest correlates with real life, because it shows like how they actually treated the patients within the mental hospitals.
Mhm.
Because in one scene they actually there's like they kind of like start getting really aggressive and like jumpy, some of the patients, and as a form of punishment they send them to get electric shock therapy so electric shock therapy. And then the lobotomy is another case, and it's just instead of like giving them treatments, they just are given punishments for acting out. And then another form of treatment that they get is like a constant intake of medications. But throughout the movie, they're not actually told what kind of medication is given. So, yeah. So basically, it was always leaving them in the dark. And another form of therapy that they used to do is just like group therapies, like talking through their issues and stuff.
That's
But
okay.
like it shows that like Nurse Ratched doesn't really want them to get better in the end, because during the movie she always nitpicks
She's
them
terrible.
all this stuff and like tries to get a rise out of them, so they act poorly. Like, and it's seen through multiple scenes within the movie.
Jesus.
And
She's
then-
terrible. But did they ever like kill her or something?
No, the movie ends with just like McMurphy being dead, and then Chief actually like ends up smothering him with the pillow because he knows that like
Really?
he's not gonna have a life anymore
Oh.
or whatever. Like he was really close, so he like put him out of his misery,
Oh, dude.
and then proceeded to pick a sink off like a built-in like sink into
Yeah.
the floor, lifted it off, like broke it off,
Yeah.
and then chucks it out of a window and escapes the mental hospital, and that's how the movie ends.
Nice.
But yes, there's a lot of plot twists and like the
Oh.
development of the characters throughout the movie. It shows that like they work very well with making the overall movie a good
Good movie.
masterpiece. So today we've talked about 3 things that have made The One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest a must-see, which is the characters, the storyline, and the correlation they have with real life scenarios.
Right.
So thank you guys for listening. My name is Marcus. Oh, good. You can stop now. Go ahead.